Okay, so hi, I'm Linda with the Artful Ink, and I've had some requests to show how I do this particular silhouette style on stencil plastic. This is the stencil plastic right here, and right here, this is a 7 milliliter or millimeter, excuse me, stencil material. It's a 12 by 12, comes in a pack of 12, and I really like it because, as you can see, it's somewhat opaque. You can still slightly see through it, so it allows you to do painting on the front and the back. It wipes back completely to the pale opaque color, and allows for the ink to glide pretty smoothly, and you can get some interesting effects when you do the technique I'm going to show you, which is ink and marker, with a little bit of water. So I thought I'd show you some examples of pieces I have done on the stencil material. This first one is roses. The red and pink with the rose gold that you see in here was done using a combination of inks. I used this beautiful rose hip by Picasso. It's B032, and I bought it in a set. So this color is just beautiful and separates out into this lovely rose pinkish color. And then I used a couple of my Ohuhu alcohol ink markers on the brush tip to just go in and add some splotches and just a few little colors where I deepened the color, like on the edge of the roses, that kind of thing. The leaves were also done using the alcohol ink by Ranger called Everglades, along with a mix of greens in my dirty palette. I used my alcohol ink markers, a couple of them, to go in, the Ohuhu ones, to go in and add the stems and some of the highlight details that you see, along with my traditional mixture of spraying in my mini mixer or mini mister. Is just some diluted down gold, and I will spritz it over it just to give an added effect. And it's hard for you to see in this light, but there are some very subtle rose gold and gold highlights throughout. Overall, it's a very pleasing image. You can also see I did some splatters out here. I don't know if you can see it very well here. It's just some green splatters that I did on a brush, but I'll try to walk you through how I did all that. This one is all done with the Ohuhu alcohol ink markers on the brush tip. I was testing out this new set that I received, and I just love all the detail that you see in the mountains. The marker brush tip actually gave me a lot of control and a lot of texture. So I was able to layer colors in where I wanted and whatnot. And I was able to try different techniques and different colors with my markers doing the trees. The background of the sky was also all done with marker. But after I laid in the color in lines, I went back through with a water brush. It's meant for watercolors, but it's filled with alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. I believe this is 99%. So I was able to go back in and just suggest sweeping clouds, nothing, you know, fantastic. They're not cumulus or any of those kinds of clouds. They're just windswept clouds. So that is that one. This is the one that everyone has been asking me how to achieve. And the first thing that I did with this, actually, I didn't even put in the silhouette. It wasn't until I was creating this, I was actually looking at doing a flower and had stepped away and came back and was like, oh my goodness, this is actually perfect for a silhouette. So like I normally do, I went and I looked at some different silhouettes to see what I would like, and decided to do this silhouette design. And so I hand drew this in, put, if you can see around her head, I put in some areas that were lighter and then darker, so to give her a bit of contrast and make her appear to be a bit more just not so flat. And the crown ended up being a mistake that I was trying to wipe away some ink, and it caused it to bloom, and it bloomed in this three-piece crown, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to leave it. I like it. So I just went in and added a bit more and sharpened it up. And then I'll show you, of course, how I did the gold that sweeps across the top. Makes me, I feel like this gold that's going across the top is like ribbon or, you know, some kind of flowy fabric or whatever. I don't really have a name for her yet. I haven't really decided on one. I love the splatters that occurred out here on the side. This is rose gold here within her dress, and then this is brass up here. That is the fabric. So I will try to walk you through how I did all of this and achieve this look. So there's that. I like to do the silhouette after I do the ink, and I do that because sometimes that ink, and the silhouette, I used the Ahuhu marker to draw in. If I were doing India ink, I would also add that in last, just to avoid having the ink spread like it did when I went and I added in the brass fabric look. So today I thought I would try to do one very similar, but in Mardi Gras colors, since we are coming up on Mardi Gras. I thought that would be kind of fun. So I do have my Orchid Picasso alcohol ink. This is B033, and I have the alcohol ink Everglades by Ranger, and I am going to use those two along with some of my markers by Ahuhu. And I have this pretty purpley color. It's R16, and I cannot for the life of me recall. It's kind of a pinkish purple. And I'll kind of show you how easily this wipes back off of the ink. And that I use the bottle that has a little bit of alcohol with water. So here we go. So you can see this wipes back completely. Nothing there. I use both my little air puffer, but I also use a metal straw. And I'm really conscious of the fact that the metal straw, it's really not recommended if you're using too much ink. And I don't tend to use a lot of alcohol with this picture. I will put down a single drop with about a single drop of the isopropyl alcohol. And I don't blow right up next to it. I'll blow from a distance, but I'll also use my puffer. I don't know what this thing is called. I forget. It's used to clean keyboards, I guess. You can use whatever it is that you need to move the ink. I'm aware that using a straw is a health hazard. So obviously you need to do what you're comfortable with. I'm in a place where it's well ventilated, and I feel like I use it very limited, so I'm not going to be inhaling any fumes or any blowback, I guess you will, but use what you're comfortable with. I have arthritis, and so for me to use the air puffer can be difficult to squeeze, and I haven't found one that isn't as difficult to squeeze as this one is. So with that said, I'm going to start by putting down a few little drops of my color. This one I think I'm going to try to keep within this white paper towel that I have underneath here, so that when I frame them, they have enough of an edge to still show completely my image. So that's kind of what I used for my guide. So here we go with a drop, and it will spread a bit more on this particular stencil, but it will dry. And I'm going to put one here and maybe one up here. So there's that. And then I'm going to go in with the green. And you see how big these spread on here. I just let them spread naturally. And not too concerned about where it goes. Moose. Stop it. Okay. And one there. And my rose gold right here is in this lovely little shaker bottle with a pin, and I'm just going to put one little drop on top of each place where I put the ink. Okay. And put my pen back inside. Okay. Now I have my alcohol, and I'm going to just kind of drop it around the outer edge, not in it, but around it. And I'm just going to start blowing just a little bit here and there. I want a very loose, organic kind of feel. You can see I'm blowing really close to where my ink is at. I'm not up here, I'm really close because I want to kind of control more of where the ink is going without having it spread too far. So by having this right on top, it's not going to go too far. And I can add some more right out through here. Let it move in on top of the ink. And then I'm going to blow just a little out. Because I'm going for a fabric type of feel, a very flowy, windswept, I guess. Just kind of think, think that spring day when you're wearing, if you're a female, you'll know what I'm talking about, where you're wearing those flowy fabrics that just kind of move with even the slightest breeze. That's what I'm going for. So, okay. I'm liking how that looks. I don't mind the dark ridges. I think that adds texture and depth, but I am going to let some more alcohol flow in, and then I'm going to push it away. I'm really liking how that green is looking, and I don't know if you can tell, this particular green separates out into some blues, like a turquoisey type blue. It's really quite lovely. So that is that. So we'll move on to another green, and this one I'm going to start on this side and just laying a little bit, allowing it to move into the ink. Okay. And then I'm going to blow away. Just like when you're doing flowers, you're going to blow away and let the ink just kind of fade. And this one is actually touching into that one, which is fine. It's going to make it so much easier when I go in and I blow a little of that out. Okay, and we just keep doing this all the way around until we get what we want. This is more of a exercise in patience than anything else. And you'll see I'm starting to get some of that purple mixing, which is fine. Purple and the green. You don't want them to get muddy, so they turn brown, but they will make a very deep kind of purple color. And that's nice on this stuff is it does travel and push. You see how that's pushing the ink away? And now I can come back in and I can just blow this out. And you see how when I did it from here, it went really far that way. It's nice. We can come back and wipe that out if we don't like it. I'm just going to do another one here. Let it travel in a bit. And then blow it. Blow it out. Doing this a little bit until we get where we want to be. Put a little bit more there. I'm going to blow it in and then blow out. And see, fades are really nice to do on this because as you can tell, the fade really gets light, and it's so much easier to get there on this type of paper. I mean, it's not really paper, it's plastic, but it's a nice, very it glides really, really well. Okay. All right. And let's think we're going to add some more into this purple and just blow that in a little bit. I want to start moving it out some. Here. And we're just going to start building up our color, and I'll show you how we're going to do that here in a minute. I'm going to go right in the center here, get some of that gold to move. I'm going to just blow that out some. And I'm going to put in another drop right on top of this gold. It's that rose gold. And now I'm going to come in with my blowing tool, and I'm going to start moving that purple. And this is where I start getting those funky lines that look like splatters right near the edge of the dress. I'm really close, and it just travels and makes that fringy, fun edge. Okay, same here. I'm gonna add my ink, or excuse me, my alcohol, and I'm going to blow up into that, and then blow it back. Okay, and now I'm going to put a drop of the purple right in the center on top, and I'm going to start blowing. And here we go with, I'm right at the very, very top of it, making it move till I get those fringy edges. Okay, and the same here. I'm gonna go around this one and push that alcohol over the top of my color to reactivate the ink. And I'm gonna just move it in, because we're gonna come back with some more purples and more greens, but I want a nice edge for my purple. And I know it looks really bright pink right there, but you see as it dries, it becomes this really pretty orchid purple color. So again, I'm going to put that down on top, and I'm just going to start blowing, and then I'm going to get really close to the edges so that I can get that over splatter. Where it looks like a fringe. Okay. All right. I'm looking at the composition so I can decide where I want to add some more of the green.
What?
I'm recording. It's all right. What's up? How's it going?
Good. I was thinking about going to get a heater at Walmart.
A what?
Heater?
Oh, okay. For where?
Well, we can use it downstairs
Okay.
or outside.
Okay.
I don't have the wall up here.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I'm gonna go what?
I'm liking this feathered look that's happening here and here. It's making me think of the dancers with their ostrich type feathers, you know, um, back in the older days when the ladies wore really fancy dresses. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to add more of that here near the bottom. And keep in mind too, one thing I didn't point out when I did this lady here, I did come in as I was determining where I was going to place her, and I actually wiped away some of the ink that I had done out here, which is another reason why I really like this. I was able to wipe out some here and go back in and put a detail line to show like this was her waistline area. So if you, get too big and feel like you've done too much, you can go back and you can wipe it out so that you can see exactly, you know, you can make what I'm trying to say is you can make your silhouette fit your image. Okay, so let me think here for a moment how I want to proceed. Pushing it. In that direction. I'm going to do another drop right in here. 2 drops actually. And I'm going to come in. Here and here. I think I'm going to introduce the water and do just a little spritz of the water up here at the top. And try to get those little, I don't know what we call them. They're like dendrites. They just kind of push and make these little curly-Q kind of, and I really just love them. I think they make this, I should say that this is about, this had about 0.5 fluid ounces of isopropyl alcohol, and then it had about an ounce of water, 1 fluid ounce of water added. So that's what gives me the ability to still move the ink and activate it, but cause it to make these fluffy dendrite type of things that you see. I could use my straw and it would make bigger ones if I want more of an effect. I can just kind of show you with, I'm not liking this green part that's right here. So if I were to come in really close and blow, I get more. And then I just let that dry. Just blow it just enough to let it dry. And because it's more powerful, I get a much more powerful flow. It's not these like light, tiny ones like on this side. So if I want more of a petal look, I would, like I said, be very, very, very close to the ink show. If I were to take this silhouette and kind of move it around on her, I can kind of get an idea of where it would look best. You can already kind of see there's the outline of a bodice through here, a strap or something that goes over the shoulder. I could wipe all of this off if I wished. I could make this all blow over to the side like I've done on this one. If you are in a hurry and really wish to dry this down, because it does take a while for it to completely dry, you can use your blower. Just be very cautious that the closer you get to it, the more it will spread. And you don't want to apply heat to this stencil. You want to make sure you're on cool air. If I move it this way, I get this different look, and I'm kind of liking that. If I were to come in and take away this part here, I'm starting to get that mix, that it's like a dress, it's blowing this direction. So I could remove all of this right here, and put her some feet, you know, or I could do right through the center, and I could come back in and create another dress this way. So it's really up to you and how you want your silhouette to be situated. I am kind of loving how the purple and the green here are moving. Not so fond of this at this side, so I could come in and take that off. I could use my water or my alcohol brush and just come in and start working it back by moving it some and tapping it in, or I can completely remove it using paper towel or Q-tips, whatever you have. So I'll work on this and I'll kind of show you how it's going, and I'll probably speed this part up so you don't have to sit through it. now I'm just laying the gold over the top instead of the rose gold. I'm just going in and adding a few drops here and there, and flowing it around, trying to keep it within where I have it, without the patterns getting too distorted. Because Mardi Gras wouldn't be Mardi Gras without the gold, right? I'm going to go back in here and add some and just flow it around right on top. This could almost be a butterfly. It's so pretty. With these blues and these greens. There's 3 drops. I want it to really want it to go out and not just puddle in one spot. Here's some more. That was like 4 or 5. Come back in here. What it looks like at this point. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that rose gold and the gold together in there. And if I place her on top, you can kind of see where I'm going. Now I'll probably come back in with some more green and try to make some of it come this way with some of the purple, almost like she's wearing one of those long ball gowns maybe, or remember this is going to be kind of a abstract kind of gown. So if you wanted, you could put her on the back, or have a cutout or something so that you would know exactly where you want to place her, but I kind of like just the free form of it all. So I'll go and put that and drop a couple of those. Of the green up here. Oops, that was a little too much, but that's okay. And we will, there we go. That's how we want it to go. And then we'll put a couple drops of that gold. Here with the purple and a little bit of the gold. Remember, we can wipe away what we don't like. And I'm liking this a lot right now. Come in here with some more of the green and a drop or two of the gold, and I want to blow it across the top just like so. And blowing directly on top, really close, so I get those feathered pieces. You see that right there, and you can see that gold and how it is all shimmery and pretty. Okay. Now, let's see how I want to do. I think I'm gonna do a little spritz there. Let that dry, and when it's dry I will come back in and go in and add some more splatters of the red, or not the red, the purple and the green, and draw in my face, my body. So I'll let this dry and I'll come back and show you how that looks once she's in place. So I am using my paint marker by Pintar. This is an oil-based 1mm tip. It's a round tip, not a fine tip, but that's okay. And I'm going to come in here and draw her this part here, her bodice, I'm going to show you how I do that with the paint pen or the marker. So for now, here we go. I'm going to come in and just do my outline over my existing because I want this to be a match set. And I'm just going to come in and I still have some wet spots on here, so it's not wanting to take the paint very much. It's okay. And she's going to be our Mardi Gras queen. There is some gold in here that is kind of getting in the way, but that's okay. We'll tidy up all those areas we need to when we're done. So I'm just going to go in and go ahead and fill this with the black. And I'll leave some areas as like highlights, so I won't come in 100% and block those in. I'll come back maybe and scratch them out in a few places, like where her hair is at. I like to just keep some detail in here so she's not so flat. I think I mentioned that at the beginning. So you could use your alcohol ink marker, just, you know, whatever you like to use. I like to try a couple of different things and just use whatever works. So, and I'll come back in with some gold on this crown, I think. And again, I'll smooth up her arms so she doesn't look like she's all pimpled. And I think this one I'm gonna bring the shoulder piece here over a little bit more, make it a little skinnier so that it looks more like a strap going across her shoulder, a little bit more decollage there. And so yeah. Like I said, you could come back in with acrylic paint or alcohol India ink or acrylic ink and do the hands and all of that in a different medium if you wanted to. I think for my gold highlights I'll use my acrylic ink. And I think I want that to come down a little bit, and that. should be similar but not identical to our other lady. And all right, so now I'll kind of show you with these, the brush markers. You have the chisel end tip, or you have the brush, and the brush has kind of got this kind of where you can make marks with it, and I can wipe that away, so I'm not too worried. But I'm going to come in here, and I just want to start kind of laying in a petally type shape with this. I'm just going to skip around. The more you press down, the more ink that will come out. But I want this to have a little bit of texture. And of course I'm going to come back in with some of the green as well. And then maybe a little different shade of this. I want it to kind of be like, almost like sequins. So I won't fill the whole thing in with color. I'm just going to kind of dab. Okay, and let's see, I want to use this turquoise green color. And I'm going to come in and just start laying in a bit of this. And it's going to mix and create kind of a deeper purple in some places. But you'll get this kind of shimmery two-tone effect. And then we'll come in with some gold. And I'm just tapping. That's all I'm doing, just tapping. I want it to look like the skirt is blowing up and away. So that's why it's kind of on this, why I chose this kind of slanted position. Okay. All right. So now I want to put some of my ink into my tray. I'm going to use this gold. I'm going to drop it in and let it kind of evaporate a little bit. And then I will get my smaller brush that I have and pull some of that out. And then just come in once it's kind of dried and just dab in different places. And go back in and get some more. I'm just taking from the edge because I don't want a ton of alcohol because I don't want this spreading. I want the top to kind of look like sequins, like, I don't know if you can see it there, it's kind of got a sequin type of look. Okay. And I'm just going to tap it all over so it won't disturb the ink underneath. And yeah, I poured this into my pot of yellow, so it gives a yellow cast on some of these, which is also a Mardi Gras color. So, hey, why not, right? So, Mardi Gras really big where I'm from. And I'm just going to go in with this gold and just keep tapping. Try not to have too much the alcohol like it did here, where it started to spread. And if that happens, we'll fix it. We'll just go in and if you have a different brush, you can use a different brush that doesn't have any alcohol on it. And that will keep it from spreading like it did on me. But we can fix it. I'm not worried about that. It's an easy, easy fix once it dries. And it shouldn't spread too much. So I'm just still going in here with this. Or if you really wanted to, you could come in with your acrylic ink. Let's see, I have this acrylic ink right here by Liquitex. It's an iridescent bright gold. And I can kind of show you how you would use this. I always just put a drop on my palette. Doesn't take a whole lot. And I get one of my smaller brushes. This one is it's my Silver Falcon. It's a very, 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 very tiny, tiny, very old brush. This brush is probably as old as I am, but it's got a very tiny little brush head. And I will dip it into the paint and then come back and just tap. Just tap it. So I'm just kind of spread it, tap it and spread, but try to be aware that it is not opaque. Well, it's opaque, it's not translucent like your inks, but that does add some nice definition to where you have laid in some of your ink. Same here. I'm just going to go in and do just a little bit of tapping, making very, very tiny, tiny little marks. And the same around here. I don't want really, I kind of am liking how that faded out on top, but by putting in just a little bit of this ink, this acrylic ink, I can give another dimension to this piece. And then we take some of this and we come up here to our crown and come in and put a little bit. And I'm gonna come in here. I want to just add a little bit more to where her bust line is. That was a little too much. That's better. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe come in and put some gold highlights in her hair. So there you have our Mardi Gras queen, and we could, in addition to, just like we did with the ribbon up here, you could do the same with her. I think once I clean her up a little bit more, get rid of some of this stuff, I may come in and actually put in a little bit more what's the word I want? A little bit more of the gold in various spots on her and add some more texture. But I think you kind of get the idea at this point. For the ribbon, in case somebody wanted to know how to do it, I will go ahead and show how to do that. It was really nothing spectacular. It's very, 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 very simple. So you just make sure that you have your ink shaken up, okay? And then you just kind of pour it where you want, like so. And then just like you did with the other ink, just kind of blow it in and out. So, you know, maybe in this one, maybe we'll just add a little bit of this and let it look like she's throwing it to the crowd or something. Who knows? So I just keep going in and making it just move a little bit. So that is all that you do with that gold, and that gold is just amazing on here. It moves just like fabric, which is what I love. So okay, so then you can clean up any edges that you have here that you do not want. I showed you how to do that. And you can see that it'll go away back to exactly how you had it. If you wanted to do some splatters, I use my toothbrush. It's already got green on it from what I did before, and I can take it and spray. Just do a little bit of spritzing, and you can see you get all that lovely texture and splatters. And the closer you get, the more you get of the green. The further away you are, the less you see. So it's a very subtle effect with this one. You could use more green, and it would make it even more of a splatter, or you could tap it. You know, some people put it right down on the brush, and then you could just tap like so, and you get all those big splatters and dark splatters. So, okay, you would just sign your work. On this one, I have not tried signing it yet with my micro pen. I don't think it would work. Instead, I'll do with my oil paint pen. Of course, spray it, give it a couple of days to be completely dry, and then you can spray it and then frame it. If you like this video and like some of my tips and my thoughts, please like and subscribe to my page, and That way you'll be notified of any future works that come out. And oh, I just sprayed that all over myself. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Okay, so this is the close-up of her, and she sparkles and shines so much, and I really love how she's turned out. So see all those splatters, and these were the marks that I was telling you about that you can make. So I hope you enjoy this video, and keep an eye out for a couple other new videos that I have coming here in the next week. Thank you.